Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new build of the 135 scale USMC AH-1 Z Viper Sharkmouth by Academy. Hello and welcome. I just wanted to actually get my old A10 Warthog here repaired. The tail fell off and I had to reglue it, and I was just dusting it off, revisiting it. I think this was the third or fourth model that I attempted. Actually got a friend of mine to help me print up. We printed up some custom shark mouths for it because the decals were pretty well shot. But I was able to salvage a few of them here and there, and yeah, it was a fun build. I'd like to revisit this subject again, and rebuild my my A10. But this is the one that I got. I just put this little antenna on it for shits and giggles. Seeing as the probe that was on there fell off, I'm not sure where it ended up, but it's fun to revisit your old kits and see where you're beginning to learn. It was my original first try at a wash, getting everything on. But yeah, you know what? It's got a lot of personal value. I like this one. It's sentimental for sure. So, anyways, now it's cleaned up. I'm just gonna get it thrown back up on the shelf, and get into this brand new build. So give me 1 second, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that we've walked down model memory lane, we can get started on this new build. Now, I think it says on the decals, I think what's this, 90 or 2019? So, pretty recent as far as molds go. Probably one of the newer kits that I'll have built. And yeah, it's really nice markings that come with this. Now, we have decided on a paint scheme, and we are going to sort of work on that premise. Now, as far as the cockpit goes, which is where our build is going to start, let's see, here in section 1 we do have some extra goodies. So we did order and receive this set, which is the 3D printed decals for the instruments. So we'll be using those in here, and we also have pilots. Now, I have two sets of pilots. I have a set of pilots that are seated, and I have a set of pilots that are standing. So I guess over the course of this first section, we can really come to a decision on whether we're going to put the seated guys in the cockpit and not use the seatbelts and save these elements for another helicopter build. They're probably pretty generic, and or use all of this set and use the standing guys out and maybe open up the cockpit and stuff. So I don't know. As we go through this build, we'll figure that out. And yeah, we're going to get started right now. So I think what I'm going to do is show you, let's take a look at our color scheme, because I like to kind of get that down first. So I don't know about you, but I kind of like to nail down as close as I can the idea of what it is that I want to end up the paint job looking like. So I like to sort of kind of play around and look at different options and different color schemes. Sometimes the one provided is perfect. It's exactly what you want to do, and you recreate, basically the vehicle that's on the box. But in this case, with the Viper, we're all really familiar with the standard gray, right? And it gives you lots of options for the weathering, accenting the panels, and there are recessed panel lines on this kit. It's going to be beautiful for all that. And, I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's all good. We still have lots of stuff that we can, sort of play with. We've got to get that ball on the front with the lenses and stuff in it. Get that looking pretty cool. There's the pods that are green, the rocket pods that are on the winglets there. And I was looking around, so I thought, well, okay, yeah, that's your standard, that's your standard look, from light gray to that darkish sort of gray, anything in between, with the sort of, that sort of low-vis markings on it. And, curious soul that I am, I kept looking, and I stumbled across this camo pattern, which I really liked. I really like this. The only problem is this is in the Czech Republic, and I don't have any markings for it. I don't have the lion. I don't have like the flag marking. I don't have anything like that. Although I did really like the pattern, so I kept looking, And lo and behold, patience paid off, and I found this. Now this was a special anniversary paint job that they smacked on one of these puppies for some sort of thing that they were doing, I guess. And this is in the vintage Sea Cobra camouflage, and I am digging all of this, all of it. I'm digging the black, the green, the light gray all together. The markings that we have the shark mouth, so I mean we're going to stray a bit on the markings because I can't have shark mouths and not put it on. So we're definitely going to put those on, but this is going to be the paint scheme that we are going to go with. And I guess that leaves it to me to get down to business and start building. So I think to keep things moving along, basically we've all seen what it looks like to cut parts out, and I don't really find out too much. If I come across something that I think is worthy of taking note, then we'll stop and I'll draw that out. But basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to clip out all of these parts to get this section here, section 1 and 2 right here, or I guess this one, section 1 with these components. And we'll get this all clipped out, arranged together, and then we'll look at, I guess, getting it painted, because it looks like everything is black pretty well. So we'll get our colors out, we'll get our stuff going, and then we'll take a look at how we're going to put on these decals, and we'll make a decision on our figures. So, with the magic of editing, we'll return with some cockpit parts. Now we can start to really get a look at these decals now that we got them out. So we can see that there's a fair bit to remove, which is kind of a shame. Now I see the point. There's quite a few builders out there that I guess have had experience with these and say, well, jeepers, they're yeah, but a lot of the kits have so much detail you can really just, it's kind of moot. And I can kind of see their point, because there is a lot of detail here that we're going to obliterate. And you almost feel like you could, I mean, you have the decals for the screens, and you almost feel like you could, really kind of get away with this. I mean, if I'm going to put the pilots in, I'm starting to wonder, like, how much of the effect, but then you do get an eyeball on these. I have to be kind of careful, because one did come loose. This one emergency pull tab thing, it's loose right now, so it just sort of curled off. But you can really start to get a sense of the detail of these things once you get them out of the package. So I think definitely for these surfaces here and the buttons, absolutely. The screens, I don't know. I mean, I guess, it's almost like you could save these for a scratch build. They're so, they are really nice. But you almost think, with a nice clear resin and, the decal and, bring out these buttons, that you might be just as well. But these are really fascinating to get an eyeball on. If you've never used these before, these are so cool. I'm really looking forward to it. So, I mean, we're going to use a white glue for adhering them once we get our paint down. But I'll just see here we got this little loose guy, tumbles off, but you can get a look at the texture on the seat pads. It's just incredible. And then the seat belts and these things that go on the ends. Yeah, really impressive. Super, super impressive. So, I mean, it's the first time for me, so I mean, I guess obliterating this is what we got to do. We're gonna have to scrape this off to prep to put these decals on. Now this is just a small chisel set. I've got everything from a blunt, a square end chisel. I have a sharp edge one if I got to get into a corner, I guess, and I actually have a corner one here that's like a 90 degree. So I guess, yeah, I'd say I got to remove everything, this whole area. So we have our little thing that's going to go on top. I didn't want to put that on yet. I didn't want to put any of these little levers or controls on yet while we're doing this. So I'll set these to the side right here where they're safe. with this. And yeah, I guess I'll get started scraping away. I'm torn, but that's what we got to do. So I guess no time like the present. So I guess I just want to sort of scrape off these knobs gently. And then I guess as I remove these details, I'll just give it a sand. And we'll just do our best to do it nice and cleanly. As cleanly as we can. These are pretty sharp, these chisels, so oops. Okay, well, this tool is working pretty good for that. Put it over and scrape. I've got my sanding stick. Just get these sanded down. So I guess basically getting these as smooth and as flat as possible so that these lay down nice is the order of the day, and that's what we shall do. So I guess I'm going to get in here with my knife and these chisels, and I guess I want to take all of this detail right down to this flat surface here, because we have decals for every component. All right, we have decals for these top displays, we have the two screens, we have the two pieces that are going to go on either side, and the pieces that are going to go here. So here I go. Chop, chop, chop. Scrape, scrape, scrape. This is kind of cool though. I've never done this before. I've seen guys do it on YouTube, right? We've seen it done. But as far as us trying it ourselves, this is a first. I'm just, oh, I like this chisel though. It's working good for this because it's sharp and it's flat. Look at that. We just took that right down. Okay, well, that's cool. This is proving to be a little bit easier than I was thinking it might be. So, I love it. Brand new stuff to learn in modeling, right? Like there's always something new. Okay, well, let me get these scraped down. I'll get these all cleaned off. I got these surfaces here, these ones here on these things right here. And both of these displays, I'll get everything all cleaned down. I'll get a coat of black on, and then when we come back, we'll start laying these decals down, and that's a first on the model students. So we'll get it together. Okay, here we go. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Alright, we're prepped. We got everything scraped off and gave it a coat of glue. We'll just let that dry just to smooth all those rough edges down. So there's all of our cleaned off areas. That's cleaned off. These are cleaned off. So that takes care of this, this, and this. Now, for this part, it's calling to remove these pads. Now, I don't know about you, but that's looking a bit tricky. I do have a Dremel. Could get the Dremel out, but when you look at, let me just get this safety thing, the eject tab, whatever they call that handle. When you look at it, I don't think that is going to go out of scale if I put that on top of that. So I'm not going there. I'm going to put this on top of this, and I think it's going to be fine. Shoot me in the head if you think you have to, but that's what I'm going to do. So what I am going to do though is I want to clean up these the back side a bit here and get this filed out and smoothed out. These injection pin marks, I think that's what they are. We'll smooth them down anyways. I don't think they're going to be too visible once we get everything in there, but we'll just get them sanded out as best we can. And then I think what we can do is I'll get these on some sticks and some clips, and we will get a coat of paint on this, and then we'll get these decals on. Now I know it's early, but I just wanted to draw it. Like, beautiful fit on this kit so far. You know, just a bit of cleanup here and there, and I'm taking my, like, I'm trying to be more thorough with all the little edges and stuff with this one as we go through it, because I have a tendency to sort of miss some of those. So we're taking our time and we're going bit by bit. But I just wanted to sort of draw attention to that, because even with the seat fit here, the way that it's engineered, the way that it's tapered there and it fits in, yeah, really nice, gorgeous fit. So that was just something I wanted to point out. Now, there's what it took to clean off those components, buttons, and all that stuff off of the cockpit, and that's what we were left with there. So that's, I guess I could have threw that into the sprue goo. Okay, so we have our marching orders as far as our templates for our decals, and we did put our other little pull thing here. We did put it somewhere safe. Now, it's all black in the instructions inside. We just got everything mocked up. The first pilots that I had another set of pilots that I had forgotten about, actually, and I just want to see here. So because I tried these first ones, and I clipped the pegs off of the body. There we go. So just a general fit. And, you know, I just wanted to kind of see, you know, if they were going to go, how much work they were going to take. Now you can see that his legs are a little bit far apart. And, yeah, he's obviously going to take a little work to get him in there. But he will definitely fit, and he has the belts attached. Now, the only problem is that the head that's provided, I mean, either one's okay. It doesn't have the, like, the, what do you call it, the microphone going to his face, either one. There's the other head here for the other pilot. They both have the goggles, they both have the flight helmet, and they're great. They look good. But I do have these other ones here, and I'm wondering how the legs are on these guys. Now, these guys I had sitting in another kit, and they look just a little bit smaller for some reason than the other ones. But I'm wondering if these legs will fit in. And these guys have that more like enclosed helmet with the face guard and everything. Like this. And depending if we put it in flight, they might look better. But I just want to see like how the legs, if they're any different. No, they're about the same. Yeah, they're a little bit wide. Now it looks like these guys might actually fit easier in there. I can just wiggle them out there without knocking everything apart. But basically that sits there. Now, yeah, I guess, well, I mean, there is, I could pull up some photos. I got some photos of both. So we have guys with both. Yeah, I guess these guys look okay. I can use these dudes in another helicopter. Seeing as it doesn't really change much as far as the legs go. Okay, these guys it is. The guys with the belts on them. So I guess we'll be able to save these belts for another build, which is, I guess, kind of cool. Alright, let's, I'll put this guy away. In the meantime, though, we are set up basically to paint. So I've got 3 blacks out here. I've got the NATO black, I've got the rubber black, and I've got flat black. And you can see there's 3 pretty distinct tones. I think I'm going to do the seats in the, I think this is the NATO. No, yes, this is the NATO. So I think I'm going to do the seats in the NATO. And I'm going to do the whole thing in the rubber black, and I'm going to do the faces of the consoles in the black, and I think the tops in the black. But between the 3, we're just going to sort of mix them up here and there to get a little bit of variation, and then we can do a dry brush for sure, and then we'll get these decals on. So let me put these figures away for now, and then I guess we're going to go with these ones. So I have both of them in the same bag. So yeah, we'll start clipping these out, and we'll pull up our reference photos for our US Viper pilot. uniforms, and we'll get rocking. I'd like to get a base coat on these guys at the same time. So first off, before I do that, is these legs on these guys need to come together a little bit. And for that, I'm actually going to use one of these, and it's one of these little USB coffee mug warmers. My son got me this for Christmas, and thinking that it would be kind of handy keeping my coffee warm. It doesn't get hot enough to keep your coffee mug warm, really, per se, but it is really good for softening parts. And if I just set this guy on here with this thing on for maybe about a minute, 90 seconds, lift him up, I'll be able to close these legs together no problem and not cause any damage. It even works with styrene and stuff, so handy little thing. If you got one and you're not using it, they work good for softening parts. So I'm going to do that with this guy and get them so at least they sit in, and then I'll worry about their hands later. But I just wanted to get a base coat on these guys, get their heads and their bodies base coated along with our components here for our cockpit. But I think we're going to have something ace going on by the time we get this done. I'm hoping so anyways. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we went with a toss-up between the faded green, and the faded beige. So nothing's glued in yet, but we do have our pilots underway, and I think they're actually looking pretty good so far. Touch up on the faces and stuff, but let them dry. I'm going to get a clear coat on them now to sort of establish those base colors. But yeah, we're ready for our 3D decals now, so I'm going to get a clear coat on, and then we'll get putting the decals on, and we should be pretty close to buttoning up this cockpit. I'm sure that we'll find some more details, but I really think the figures are adding a lot to it for sure. Okay, let me get a clear coat on. We'll be right back. I know I'm always saying that, but it's true. Okay, there's a look at the 3D effect so far. Now we've got these side ones going here, and I'm just using, this is like a latex bonding agent for masonry, and it's very similar to a white glue, PVA glue, maybe a little bit more, a little stronger than PVA glue, just generally, and dries a lot faster, and it dries clear. So that's what I'm using, and it seems to be working pretty good. I have the ones for the seat, but when I first put them in, they tended to want to curl. the opposite way the seat is. So I've just got them sitting in some warm water just to sort of soften them. So I hope that they'll lay a little bit easier. And let's just get you sitting in there. Get you to slip up inside there. And there we go. And just push it right down into the glue. It seemed to take a few pushes like on the seat too, just to sort of get it the seat. But once you get it in there, it seems to be okay. So this is a very, you know, just take your time, but it's a very rudimentary, simple process with these 3D decals. There's nothing really to it, really. Set it into place, and we'll just swab up that excess glue with our swab. Get that one right there. Cool. Yeah, it does definitely add that dimension of, you know, realism for sure. Oh, there's my Q-tip right there. Just want to clean that off. Make sure it's square. Just give them a little tap. There. I guess we'll do the seat. Let's see how soft these are. I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to use the CA glue for that. So for these, I'm gonna put some CA glue down. Right. Get up here on there. Now you can see it wants to curl still, but it's softer. It's being a little bit more pliable. Now the last one is too wide here to fit between these side skirts, so I had to trim it a bit here carefully with the scissors just off the width so it fits in. Now we have our pilot sitting in, so if I take a little bit too much off, not too bad, but I had to shave off just a bit. That should do it. Get that extra moisture off of there. Okay. Oh, you little bastard. See that? Broke right off. Ever so careful. Now I had to hold this in to place. Okay, we can hide that with a bit of a marker if we need to. Push you right on there. Okay, there we go. I'll run the marker down there if I want. Rubber black and define. Just sort of hide that cut edge ever so slightly. There we go. No probs. Alright, that works. So now we've got him in this seat. There. Yeah. Oh, I better do that too. Do this edge. I like these markers for this kind of thing. They're great. Okay, here we go. Okay, seats are done. I guess I better put the bottom pad on too, huh? And I think I had to trim some off of this one. Yeah, a little bit off the sides. They're just the slightest little bit too big. So just take a sliver. See if it's still going to center up. Yeah, it'll be fine. Oh, see, look at that. See how brittle it is? Just trying to pull it out, it broke. Fucking bugger. Good thing I got the pilot sitting down. So brittle, you just gotta be careful. Alright, well, let's put down our glue. Let's lay a little bit out of this oozy tip here. That's why I buy the cheap CA glue. I'm not good with this stuff. It always goes off on me, and I don't know, whatever. I've gotten the expensive stuff and been so sorry because it didn't last any longer or give me any better results than the cheap stuff. And I don't know what it is. $3 for 4 tubes or something like that of this at the dollar store. So, I don't know. Works for me. Shove that right up there. Get that to lay flat. So yeah, we're lucky we got the pilots because that'll hide any, blemish from it breaking. I can get it to push right tight. And once again, I'm just going to dab it with the marker. Why did that seam? Ooh. Oh, look at that. Took the edge off. Whatever. See ya. We're not going to lose sleep about it because once he's in there, you can't even see it. Nope. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Those are done. You're done now. Now, I carry on, and I will complete said decals. Second time around is a lot faster. As he says, as he struggles. No, it was. It's once you get the feel for it and you know what to expect, obviously, like everything, it gets easier. But yeah, I really like the detail that it adds. I mean, definitely something. It's the extra expense, but I mean, for those kits that you really want to kind of go over the top with, I think it's definitely worthwhile. Yeah, there we go. But we're definitely cruising now. Get these ones on and we'll be back in a flash. Well, that has to be about as close to instant gratification as you're ever going to get building models. Sort of like the dry brushing process when you first, learn dry brushing. It's like magic, right? You get that instant satisfaction. As soon as you brush over something, you're like, oh, look at the detail. And that's like this. As soon as you plunk these things into place and put them in there, it really pops. So, yeah, there's the other one done. So that's pretty cool, man. I really like these things. I gotta say, like, it's fun and very easy to do, and yeah, they end up looking pretty cool. Okay, well, I'll finish off the rest of the controls here along the cockpit, and then we'll get our guys in, and we'll be ready to push on finally. That was a lot of little bit of fiddling around with the figures and the decals here for the cockpit, but once we're out of the cockpit, I think we'll be able to move along real quick. So I'll get these finished. Here we go. it is our completed cockpit. I think it looks pretty cool. There's our instrument panels done, and yeah, when they're clicked into place, they look pretty good. I did get the one grab handle for the seat there on the front one, and I'll just use some of that really small lead wire that I have to make a replacement one for the back here, because you will be able to see that, you will be able to see when you look down in through the cockpit. So we'll get that popped in there. But other than that, and the other seatbelt extensions, so we just, we'll glue these up into here somewhere once we get it in position. But we made some seatbelt extensions just with some masking tape. I just took the skinny tape here and just cut it down a little bit, just to make, because the mold doesn't account for the seatbelts going all the way to the seat. So that's about it for that. But I think that really is kind of cool. Those 3D decals are really neat, man. I would think, even like if you're scratch building and stuff, like to get a couple sets of these and mix and match just to add detail, be really super cool. But yeah, I mean, take them or leave them. I really liked them. I thought they were a lot of fun to put on, and really easy application, and they do definitely add that level of detail for sure. So let's see, that gets us finally out of the first part there, and I guess next we're going to be getting into the ball and the camera ball, so that's going to be pretty cool. We'll just get these components painted up, and we'll get these slapped in there, and then we've got this plate and stuff up here at the top for the rotor, and we're going to get into this ball in the front, and that gets us in the clamshell. So I think now we'll be able to move along pretty quickly, because from all accounts this kit really does fold together nicely. So I'm looking forward to a pretty speedy and clean build. So we do have some photo etch on the outside, some elements and stuff to put in, and some pre-painting, because I'm definitely probably have to do some pre-painting inside the exhausts, and definitely inside the cockpit, and there might be some here around the intakes and stuff. So a little bit of pre-painting, but other than that, I think we're down into a pretty straightforward build now. So, but that was our first experience with the 3D decals. That was really cool. And we had to augment our figures a bit. We had to squeeze their legs together and move their arms around. Now I really hope this guy fits in with his arm, because it's kind of outside the boundaries a bit here. You can see if I come down. I think he's going to be okay, but we're going to find out in the next episode. We'll be finding out shortly, Portly. So, yeah, that, for me, the model student, until next time, live, love, laugh, and plan something for the future, because that's when I'll see you. So, cheers. Bye.